Your thoughts now, stylistically head-to-head, where's the difference going to be made?
I mean, the big concern, especially starting off on ICEBOX here, again, the previous series is something to go by. And Mirrors and Heat caused a lot of problems for Envy. Sean was discussing that. Actually, look at this. We've got Crashes and Ye tucked up in a pretty deep spot here. Ye going to take first contact, but effectively baiting for Crashes here. Unnoted as of yet. That's certainly where my eyes go towards. Again, looking towards KRU to lean heavily on, obviously, Kesnet and Nags to find similar success, find these opening duels and actually capitalize on them very, very quickly. KRU actually...
They're being herded,
yeah.
Feels. Crashes is still here. So that's the ace up the sleeve. And Ye can kind of be a little bit more aggressive, kind of put himself on the line a touch more. Reconfirms their intent, but loses his life for it. Kind of wide on that peek around there. Does give an option again to Nags, who's been playing very well, and Crashes now going to have to fall off that angle. Doesn't quite get as much as I'm sure he'd want to out of it, but Victor wants in, going to at least put himself onto a site. Now, they're not fully aware he's here, and that's going to probably be a huge problem. Spike now lost. You're going to see now a little bit of an issue beginning for KRU, because that wall is just keeping them divided.
Yeah, the Spike fully in control of Envy here, so looking to try and reinforce it. Kesnet will actually find Crash. Look at that, FSN swings round though. Find another one. Kesnet finally has to dismiss away though. 15 HP and Victor will find the final kill. Envy will post the pistol round. After conceding first blood there, the Owl Drone also spotted Crashes out. Yeah. He had to give that up. They came back in with an actual headcount disadvantage there. So fair play to Envy, but the important kill being a Spike. They were able to put that wall back up, the poison orbs there as well, just to make absolutely sure.
And I love the fact that Victor found this room. That's so important, and I'm surprised no one even considered that or was able to deal with that at that time. Putting so much faith in that Spike to be planted uncontested and as seen, instantly exploited, instantly pressured. And even then, following that up, FNS finding some great timing to kind of play back through, just kind of in all that mayhem. But we go again. Second bite at the cherry here. Oh, dearie me, Crashies, you're a brave boy. Well, he will lose his life for it. Maybe not the ideal start. Ye did eventually get that punish, and I'm looking at Ye to be a big influence throughout this game. Again, his ability certainly noted in the last couple of months. Truly starting to look good. Lovely little 3K there for them. Again, this is, you know, Eco Cobra time. Player standing. So we don't get too excited yet, but Klaus, the last one alive. If he can cost him one more weapon, I'm not against it.
Certainly, I mean, looking at there we
go.
Bulldog and two Spectres here remaining. FNS actually creeping under this. I think he's completely unnoted. He's going to get behind. He's spotted out, Klaus. Take contact from elsewhere. Again, dealt with.
Very nice.
Well managed by Envy. And again, look towards Ye to be the one to contest those open duels time and time again. Again, setting a precedent almost. Forcing KRU to be a little more cautious in the early round, because we know obviously Mitch was leaning on it the other day heavily. Nags and Kesnet, they like to hold down the W key. They like to proactively find these, usually pretty dry, honestly. It's not on the back of any real set pieces or flashes. They will swing. And
look, I think other games have learned to know this sort of fiery style coming out of LATAM, coming out of like Brazilian teams, especially any of that region you're looking at to see, okay, can they now replicate this to a successful standard? And they have already once, but Envy's a different beast altogether. And Victor's off to a belting start. Lovely beginning there towards Nags, and that's an issue. That's a rifle now. Depleted, as is Ye found Maz. So this is starting to look a bit worrying here. This is
Ye's got
and Ye's the one with the rifle. He got that lovely little upgrade for himself here, and he's got so much room to play with. He has just locked them in, and they're going to start closing that net. B-Long's also got pressure as well. You can see that they've pushed themselves up here, so they're giving them a tiny amount to play with. Delzik gets noted in towards middle and Envy. Haven't your players ready for this? Delzik, though, does get the fair fight on this. They're willing to put their life on the line. Why not double face this? You got Spectres and they win the fight. This is beautiful from Envy. They looked shaky in their first game, Hypog. This looks like they've adjusted that.
Absolutely. Victor's still up here.
Oh, he's loving it.
Yet to be dealt with. Klaus will be the next victim. Victor actually going to try and satchel away, but Kesnet finally finds one in response.
Don't get throwy. There we go. Keep it nice and calm. I've seen these rounds get a bit throwy in the past. Hopefully this is kept in check. There's some Crashies. Oh, this is just not going nicely for Kesnet, is it? No, Crashies, gorgeous. Gorgeous work for Envy there. That is exactly what the Doctor ordered, and what a confidence boost after that horrible start on ICEBOX previously.
And look to Ye to do this sort of thing, right? When Sean touched on this perfectly, where kind of KRU look to get unorthodox. Envy aren't afraid to play that sort of style as well. And Ye to just be solo pushing through and find the anchor effectively of KRU's composition here whilst they're trying to take space elsewhere. Again, if Ye can replicate that, it's going to be scary because KRU like to spread a little thin, and it's usually, again, a duelist that'll be out on the extremity almost solo, right? Not really with the support of Klaus and his utility. Victor again.
I'm liking what Victor's doing, man. He's already coming out confident, coming out hot. And this could be just a nice little confidence boost here up against Sheriffs and any armor. A little bit here and there. Yeah, okay, so it's not completely a light investment. There is a little bit of backing behind it, but Victor is not particularly backing down at all. And he's kept control here.
Well, this is to kind of strike fear in the early round. Ye again, going to find an opener. Nag's actually going to trade that back out. Well, no, they can close this. Mazzino actually going to find one elsewhere as well. So Envy will drop 2.
That's rifle recovered as well. I'd say Ye's is a little trickier, being just slap bang in the middle of mid, but that one is right on the money. So now FNS, the timing's everything on this. The swing, 3 around the corner. This could be big or it could be an absolute mess. And Mazzino finds it too. They're picking off these 1v1s. They're finding individual fights that aren't tradable.
FNS looking to prevent that exact thing from happening. The upgrade coming, crashes once again. The hunt begins. He's going to be spotted by the recon bomb, but he has to swing to avoid it. We'll find one. Kesnet in position to find the trade. The spike will come through. Marved eventually making his way this direction. He'll find himself on a 1v3.
It's a great wake-up call. KRU sending out a big message here if they can convert this round. However, the last 2 players do not have rifles out. Ult is there for Nags.
Nags he just swept the rifle away.
There we go, lovely. Both of them finding upgrades now. That's a big difference here. Bigger challenge for Marved. I don't know how much he can get out of this one. Up in Nest as well. Peekaboo, it's Nags. Brilliant conversion from KRU there. They are going to be chuffed with that. And what a way to, as said, tame Envy. Let's say Envy started to maybe get a little confident, get, feeling themselves, pushing up maybe over aggressively. KRU's got them there.
Well, to lose the bonus and then obviously kind of keep the reins on that economy, not allow them to actually slip away with an extra. Again, this pick in mid, you can see immediately the response from FNS. I think he's anticipating that very thing. Don't let them get another weapon for free. But KRU stack up. There's 3 bodies there, and actually the poison orb invested just to make sure that they can retrieve that. Well played by KRU to really hammer through. And again, that's on the back of Ye finding the opener. Honestly, and Victor creating all this pressure on B main, which, again, we talk about conditioning and things like this. This is to really keep KRU in check. They want to stop all of these just dry swinging in the early round and going for these opening picks. So Victor already doing what's necessary in my eyes. He's one away from the showstopper as well now in that position on B lane. Potentially now if he rotates over to A and KRU opt to all-out hit that site, that could be a big problem for them.
And something we talk about when we talk maybe, I don't know if it even really comes into this game, but something to throw out there as a consideration, I would say. If a team's coming in super confident, taking these kind of cocky fights, taking very aggressive fights, which is completely valid and a very viable approach, you have to tame it.
Yes.
You have to somehow push that style back and then almost reset the game to an extent. Be able to then play your normal style. It's very hard to hit these executes or maybe play your normal piece if someone is constantly being such a disruption to it.
Well, it's interesting. We were listening just during the pre-game there, where KRU was saying, actually, we are aware we might have to adjust our playstyle, right? But that's coming out of the comfort zone. And if it's another team that forces you to do that, as opposed to you making that decision saying, right, guys, we need to come in and play a little slower. We know what they're going to do. Right here, Envy stepping up to the plate is almost like okay, well, what do we do? Because they're willing to fight us. They're willing to kind of put us back in our shell.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. And also when I look at Envy storyline-wise and off the back of that first ICEBOX, they recovered. I think, though, anyone watching that definitely were taken aback for a second and went, ooh.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to look back at series. Again, you shout out Mirrors and Heats because they were absolutely insane. Actually, I think, again, Sean was talking about the ability to find these open duels and banking on Envy winning them. Again, I mean, it's hard to replicate that, especially if it's a player difference we're talking about. But I think actually they were able to pull Ye out and find him in solo circumstances. And time again, they were losing those duels.
Yeah, and to me, I find that hard to believe because, I watched a fair amount of Envy coming into this event, and I'm thinking, look, Ye had a tear. El Diablo was on form, right? Like, this guy was having, like, a hot run into this event. So to tame him instantly was actually very impressive.
And actually, on the flip side of that, it was Crashies that was the safety net.
Correct.
Crashies bailed Envy out so many times in regulation in that series. Sorry, in particular on ICEBOX. Yeah. And that's something that is a statement. What was it, 15, 16 first bloods? Something disgusting.
And this is where I'm just looking at. We do have, obviously, a little tech pause coming in here. Love to see it.
Get him out of the way early.
Yeah, get him fixed up. He'll be fine. And for KRU, I mean, it felt like a laboured victory in theirs, but they did eventually get that control of the tempo. They got everything they needed eventually. It took a little time, but again, I think that stylistic matchup wasn't probably an easy one for them either.
No, it wasn't. I think that plays into what we were just talking about, right? Where actually anticipating what a team is going to do and then thinking, actually, we need to break the mold. We need to
we need to be the ones to adjust a little here as well.
Exactly. And I mean, that flips everything in terms of just those kind of micro synergies, the set pieces, and even just small plays to, you know, take territory in the early round. All those things are thrown off kilter.
Absolutely. Right. Does seem as though not quite there yet. I got debated. Absolutely debated by that. I was starting to wrap up. I was like,
I hear game sound, I get excited. Yeah.
Well, we can see it. We can still talk. I mean, it's early days, which is the wonderful thing. Obviously, so much to break down in 4 rounds, ICEBOX. You love this. This is truly analytical, you know, commentator's dream. Yeah,
and we've got loads to sink our teeth into, actually. A whole 4 rounds so far. Again, that's thrifty.
Okay.
Tactical prowess.
Truly.
By Sheriff. Push mid.
How many teams have struggled on their anti-ecos, though?
It's been a recurring trend, honestly.
I don't know if I want to favour, or not favour, but, you know, compliment the teams that have been able to do the kind of like, okay, well, we'll just win on Sheriffs and find these moments, or just be a bit worried at the anti-ecos of people losing them.
You think back, do you remember how many we had to deal with BDS and Opportunists?
Oh, bloody hell, don't say those names.
Yeah. Logan's here in spirit.
Yeah. Well, this is now a fine opportunity. If this, I don't know how long this is going to be. So what I'm going to do is we're going to play the game, chat. You're in this now. Before, I ignore you. Now, no, you're brought in. You are our third caster. Get on Twitter, #Valorant Masters. The prediction for this game, I feel, NA fans, I don't know if you're up yet. So we'll see. Like,
definitely
KRU fans?
No way.
Yeah, so let us know. I'll be checking in on that if there is another tech or anything. So let us know. We are back underway, though. 3-1 as it stands. The buy is back very nicely with KRU after turning that prior round.
But look at the ultimates here. Showstopper, Bladestorm, Hunter's Fury, all available for Envy. So
right here.
Look towards them potentially to invest these. And actually, Team Victor pull back towards Rafters here, and Crash is sitting a little outside. Makes me feel as if Victor's going to look for a little blast back over default. Yeah, actually with the Bladestorm pushing down Tube right now. The 3 members of KRU backing away. Should catch this audio cue though. Yeah, he should be close enough to hear this. He absolutely is, yeah.
He responded. You can see that KJ as well, just kind of leaning a bit closer.
Extra, yeah.
This is big information just off the back of those steps. Marv's on an island, but maybe happy with his holiday. Now, waiting for that swing. There. Oh, Mazzino just straight Ferrari peeking Marv down. And now Ye has to do something here. Has to be important. That's not bad. 17 HP, though, is low. The other ult is popped you.
Oh, no. Crash is caught Ye because he was so low HP. He was down to 15 HP, Lauren.
You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. KRU didn't need help this round. They were already on one. So now Nags, Klaus, Kesnet, Delzik, all sitting happy. Oh, that's
a
to
shock.
the feet. That could have been a rough one for Nags, but he's still fine. And here we go. Victor's going to pop ult and away. Try and clear back of yellow. Actually catches Nags. That's incredible. But there's still so many more layers to this, and KRU stabilized. Scoreline looking much better now. 2-3. 3 still alive. And they've drawn out so many of those ults.
I was going to say, that's a huge investment for Envy to throw at that round to try and recover it. And it goes a miss for them. Fantastic hold from KRU, though, again. Showstopper invested there, only finding one again. It's very difficult to close the distance there, but obviously very different to A site. There's no real cubbies to play. It's behind yellow, obviously back in that corner and towards B main. So Envy now going to suffer the consequences of that. A little bit of investment, but see if they try and capitalize on this by pushing a little deeper. Yeah, actually picking up this position on Rafters. Actually going to find a fantastic headshot onto Kesnet. The first blood once again in favor of Envy.
Nags trying to walk forward. So he does have crashes on that corner. There it is. Lovely work from Nags there. Finding crashes after that contact. Looking at what's remaining.
It's doing it.
Marved, Ye, FNS and Victor. Still trying to hold towards the back of the site. And Patience now being toyed with, maybe seeing if they can offset that pace. See if they can catch Envy overstepping, potentially getting a little antsy. There's a lot of players here. Keep pushing this, and Ye, brilliant connection from the back. What? Ye! It's way too early for that. 1 HP and he's still popping off, I believe, for a second. It's a 1v2.
Marv coming through here. Spike.
He's got a rifle.
Yeah, we're going to do, but whether or not Nags and Maz will actually anticipate now with this internal clock ticking over, and they're pushing through to screens, Lauren.
But sometimes no information is still information. He can clear all this area pretty quickly. He knows no one slipped through this way, so this is still quite quick progress. But he still needs to find that first, and KRU dug it. First one! Success for Marv to now the 1v1.
Mazino's got two
It looks like he's got a lineup for it too. Marv knows he might be in a bit of trouble here. He knows it's a Viper he's up against. Mazino is just going to go for that time board. Up towards this!
Beautifully done.
Oh, man's got moves. They're fired up, boys. We've got a good start here for the LATAM side of KRU.
That ties things up 3 apiece. Again, on the back of Ye doing so much with minimal investment here to still keep this interesting. Again, the shot onto Klaus was beautiful. Followed up with a no-scope.
One enemy remaining.
Nice try from Marv, but again, like you said, that no information, again, that internal clock is ticking. The intuition comes. They don't even need to peek for the information. They have a really, really solid read on where Marv's coming from.
I love this. All of you at home, I love all the tweets coming in as well. Just everyone watching the game, kicking back, a little drink in hand at breakfast. Everyone's locked in for this because Nags is on one. He saw Victor's aggression in those early couple of rounds, and he's gone, all right, I'll see you there. Don't worry about it. But there's still Ye, always going to be a difference maker. Crashy's still kicking around, but Ye's still posted up quite aggressively. Now look how deep in response, though. KRU are happy just peel that little further back.
Well, the back of Victor falling, this Viper's bit now should, I guess, quell any further aggression from KRU towards B at least. Spike not committed. They're happy to sit for the time being. Nag's just looking for anything coming through, but Ye, again, that solo position. Pushed up towards Nest, and Delzik looks, I mean, aware of the possibility, but just holding for the time being. Spike drifting this way as well now. He's got a lot to deal with once again, Lauren.
It's all on Ye here. There's no one to back him up either. He gets one, falls away. Gonna at least sit towards the backside of that elbow. Knows there's more coming. Here's all these steps. He's calling for backup, but will he make it there in time? Ult now popped out. He's still locked in. Eyes trained, and he's in trouble. Klaus has got him for free. There's no one to try and dissuade this. Crashes was backside, but at this point, Spike's going down.
And the Viper's bit popped in response as well. The lockdown actually comes down pretty early on. Will create a little pocket in the corner of sight, but KRU happy to back away from this. Again, Mazino with 2 snake bites, so the possibility to deny any plant coming through during the lockdown. Envy now man disadvantage to fight back through.
This is going to need some real magic to come out. FNS looking for the first fight, doesn't find it either. Delzik happy to sit towards the backside of things. First fight won for Envy though, but it's all effective tradings. And now Marv's in a dire scenario. Good shot on one, but it's Nags again waiting. KRU have done more than stabilize now. They've taken that lead and started to build.
Looking really good in the setback. Again, on the back of Ye drawing first blood, Lauren. So again, that's a big tick in the box.
Yeah.
Again, in terms of win conditions, winning these duels versus players on KRU that we've already talked about, how they're going to be willing to go hyper-aggressive. And that was a much slower round from KRU as well. Again, very, very slow, very methodical to come through, but the response is still there. They have bodies in place to follow up on that.
Yeah, again, trying to operate with 4 players, you know, on either side is pretty tricky. And the fact that Ye eventually was able to kind of even things out, but now we are on a little bit of a lighter bite. Still a rifle with Marved and some...
2 tags as well.
Yeah, but again, right back up on pretty much full HP. Yeah, lacking a little bit of armor, but mostly standing, and the first entry. So, Marshall's out. Marv, of course, finding his opposite number there. Back to a 4v4.
That's a big kill, actually. Does have the res, so look for KRU to freeze for a moment. Yeah, I think Envy anticipate this as well. Not an awful lot to do to stop this one.
You will not kill my
We'll get 5 back on the feet. Actually, it's only FNS to hold down the fort on A site. See Nags encroaching towards him. And KRU are drifting this way once again.
FNS, real crispy. There's still 4 alive. They got that res, they have the rifles, and now they're on the site. Bear in mind that Envy need to be kind of a little cheeky with it, find unorthodox ways, like Victor doing that. That's more than enough to get you a frag at this point. Now Spike is down, post-plant time. Marshall's on the retake, it's not easy, but Ye is making it look viable. Victor at FNS! These rounds, man, these like anti-ecos, kind of half buys, force buys, they're so dangerous right now.
Envy looking good at scrapping out with KRU, honestly, in some of these. We'll tie things up here, 4 apiece with a thrifty round win for Envy. And Bladestorm popped back, and yay. Again, how many times are we going to talk about them? Just doing work.
This was still, I'll take that.
Oh, yeah.
Take that one.
Stopping that, just slowing it down on the way in is fantastic from FNS.
Good to see FNS having a nice performance here. Rifles back out on either side. Ye with that up. 4 on the trot, now broken. And for Envy, they need to get their kind of, I guess, comfort zone building in these rifle rounds, because once the rifles have come out, generally, KRU's actually been more on point in this. But again, quick start coming through here, and it looks like Nags wants to take that space. Victor is on the other side, and initially, it was Victor winning that duel, but the flip has come in. Nags has been pretty good at reading Victor's next play. Sees that little bit of a leg out of place, denies the satchel as well.
Looking to overwhelm. Marv here to counter peek it, but Klaus will find the entry. Victor will trade it out, but Kesnick good. FNS actually swinging through on this as well. It's a 2 for 2.
That's impressive for FNS. He had to put his life on the line to do that, otherwise it was going to be ineffective, but mid was taken in the meantime. And that's where Mazzino found all that room to punish those push-ups towards long. And it's put Ye in a very undesirable situation. But can they dance with the devil? Let's find out. Already Spike going to go down. What does he do with this? Up in hand?
Planted.
How are you going to dig any of these players out of position? I do not know. Trying to clear back through a mid. He knew that Mazzino was around here at one point, but he's already fallen back towards the others. Sitting for that post plant, I'm sure. So again, Ye, I don't see any viable options here.
No, I think just a formality at this point, see if he can find anything, any freebies. Again, Mazzino got that fail-safe. 2 snake bites still available for this. Yeah, you're going to opt to hold on to this for the time being, and KRU already anticipating that. Oh, yeah, you find anything here, actually. He's going to hear all these audio cues. Kesnick the first. I expect him to hightail out of that. KRU don't want to give any more away. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to risk losing that. And again, it's Envy's willingness to come and play this game with KRU right there. But identify the FNS drifting all the way across from Kitchen. Just to reinforce around that. Because KRU, they show their hand very early. They're like, yep, we will fight to the death for this. And Envy this time around, see here, has to drift back away. I think he was down to 20-odd HP. Almost perfectly timed. Actually, Mazzino finds the space behind FNS pushing up elsewhere.
Yep.
Be interested to see if actually that's a reaction to obviously that support coming through towards B main.
Yeah, it felt like a bit of a Sophie's choice though for FNS. Okay, well I leave B long open, I can't do anything, maybe I can get a trade, you know, but regardless, Victor now looking for a new approach, he's going to find mid, he's going to find Delzik, and he's going to find 2, Klaus to follow, but an instantaneous trade! They can't find a clean trade out on this for Envy. Everything is looking good for KRU, another spike plant comes in, exit's a little low, but look at this lurker from Mazzino, he's still held that mid position, and yeah, he's had a terrible surprise, and this is looking like a problem for Envy. They are not finding ways in.
Actually, Mazzino pops the Viper's bit as well.
Wow.
He's going to cut off all of this area here, forcing Crashies to reconsider his approach. See, Marv actually behind this play. Tries to spam in. Exit tucked behind the box on site, though. It's like Envy. Completely unaware of the possibility. Marv finds one, Nagzet finds one of his own, and there, Kesnet will find the final kill. Crashies will fall. KRU 6-4 ahead of Envy, and I think actually, financially, Envy going to be struggling, even though a couple of ultimates are now online. Might struggle to find anything here. Victor, again, 2 openers. With KRU almost just like, we're gonna throw some in the tube here and hope for the best. And straight away the response is there. Showstopper, Hunter's Fury. Defense obviously no Bladestorm, but
look at the buy around
it's not comfortable.
Oh, it's a shaky buy. Nagzit, first one to challenge towards middle. Frenzy's out, odds and ends, but Envy have won these rounds. I was about to say it,
What the hell?
He's found 2 out of nowhere. Now, FNS can play up through towards Kitchen. It ain't perfect, but he's got the spot out. Now they're all lined up here. Kesnit, don't do him dirty like this. And Klaus pulls back on through. Yay is being a difference maker here. Klaus, though, he's still finding bodies. A 1v2, not going to happen. Marv, big deny. And Envy are winning rounds out that they just shouldn't be winning. This terrifies me.
Last round in the half.
I mean, they're ready to brawl. The interesting thing is finding this much success when they have lesser weapons. Yay again, coming up huge.
Down, B.
Must be nice to have a Yay on your side, you know? You take them.
Yeah. I mean, hell, don't be buying real rifles. This man's, dare I say, getting more with the budget up.
I mean, yeah, third round, but I'm thinking, have they won a rifle v rifle round at this point? Because we've had some really weird turnarounds for Envy here, regardless, coming into that final round of the first half. Ops out again for Yay.
Poison's off.
Put in charge of that A site, but it's this B long play that's been a bit of a back and forth affair, mostly won out by KRU throughout the actual buy rounds. Hunter's Fury. Pop down as well, and Crashies does find Delzik.
That's a big opener. Again, that's why whilst KRU are actually still set up in this default. Yay now. Mazzino just slipping past on the rope. Actually, I think he's just spotted him, yeah. Mazzino pinging it out here. He did spot a shoulder, a barrel, something.
Here.
There it is. But it was Mazzino was ready to trade that. If there was even a shot coming out, he was ready on it. Yay now forced to the back of the site with his plays in Crashies. But Mazzino again, these shots, man, these guys are so on it today. What have they had for breakfast? A 4v4 made advantageous now, but the trade instantaneous again. Nagsit's, he's on the other side of the map. The spike's on the way, and he's going to go deep here. He wants control. Kesnit tried to get that mid control, maybe deny the retake and maybe those readjustments, but not going to happen. Nagset is waiting, though. He is locking this one down. He's created enough space for that spike to make it to site.
Hunter's Fury available as well, so if Nagset can find Yay here on spawn, it's huge, and actually Yay comes out on top of it. Klaus now in a 1v3. Yay pops the Blade Storm of his own. He's going to be spotted out here. Yay misses the first couple. Again, this is just buying time here for the rotation to come through. Spike gets tapped. Yay will find it. Envy will tie things up on the half.
Yeah, 6-6, but this has been a precarious half, keep in mind. This is going to be a hard one, and I'm sure Balor's got some interesting points to break down, so we're going to head straight towards that.
Yeah, I do. I think this was a good start for both sides. I want to take a look at a clutch round, actually, from Mazzino and an attempt from Marv as well. That was pretty interesting the way it played out, the way that the decision-making and team play worked out. So let's go ahead and take a look. No map this time. We're just going to take a look at the players' POVs themselves. Let's start the game, or start the round itself, and take a look at the setup, right? So first off, we have a Viper's wall toxic screen across the way that's going up towards the B site, and then of course the push is coming in on this A side, right? So Ye is playing around the drones that are coming in, the darts that are coming at him as well, and he falls back off of this. Look at this wall. Pause it right here. Take a look at this wall that's blocking Nagzet's approach, but also giving a lot of space to KRU to walk up on top of this right here. Crashies has to play in front of the wall. Maybe he can find something and fall back from it, but there's really nothing to do past that. If he gets isolated, which he does, go ahead and play the clip, it's going to be really difficult for his teammates to trade, and there Nagset takes advantage of a little angle. Now, pause again, this is way faster in the clip, but you can see the difficulty of what is happening now for KRU. As that wall comes up, they don't know what's on the other side, so Klaus tries to take an angle on top of 410 to actually fight against what's going on there, but Ye is well aware of that, and then now we can roll it. He's just taking full advantage of walking through the toxic screen. Again, you don't know what's going to happen, so finally Mazzino cleans it all up, and this is where it gets interesting, right? So let's watch Marv's POV first. I like the interesting decision here to not walk around the entire belt because he wants to isolate the angles. He wants to make it very difficult for the players on the other side to find these 2v1s, but at this point he's like, hold on. So he drops down before they can really hear, because he knows they were back in the back of sight, takes this nice duel onto Nags, but at this point Nags is just confirming that this round should be won from Mazzino because they set this up perfectly. Now, I watched Marv's POV first. because I wanted to show you how difficult it was from his side to figure out what's going on. Because look, after the first 3 kills here from Mazino, what do they do? These ones, of course, we already talked about a little bit. And then he comes in and finishes off Ye. But they plant the spike down, and then he's holding all the different angles, trying to figure out where Marv is. They're gonna walk both of them into screens, both of them pushing that spawn. So if Marv is here, then they'll be able to take that 2v1. But if he's not, they know exactly where he is, and they have the lineups from the defender spawn to be able to close this one out. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see he's got 2 snake bites to deal with Marv. As soon as he nags again, confirms it. He could sit here and just put both snake bites out, but he also makes a nice movement play to clean up the round entirely. This is very difficult for Marv's side to deal with because, again, he thinks he's coming from heaven. So that's that clutch round from Mazino. A good attempt from Marv, but very difficult to deal with, I think, if you are, of course, Envy. And that kind of decision-making is why we have such a close game, because it's happening on both sides, I think, Lauren and Hypoc.
Peaks now.
I absolutely love that. I'm so glad we got to see that from the POV as well, especially of how it led to that scenario. Great segment. Regardless, the teams are ready. We are jumping right back into this, and KRU's taking no breaks.
No, they're not at all. 2 of Envy fall off the rip. Victor and Ye down. Yeah, they will free threat. Actually, Marv will thread his way through up tube now, potentially catching Klaus, and this will make it interesting, actually, if we can find this. Nope. Klaus too sharp for him right now, so it comes down to FNS and Crashes to try and recover this pistol round for Envy.
An opportunity for Crashes. Keep in mind, a light armor
Player standing. Here.
and the Sheriff,
Spike
but
down A.
Naxa doesn't know how to miss. So Crashes, good luck, my friend. You have 5 to find. This would be something of legend. That's 1.
Hey!
All right, Crashies, he's trying. But let's talk about who's the real victor here. KRU. They just came out. The shots these boys are hitting. They look like they've been playing for the last couple of hours, super warmed up. This is the first game of the day.
It's crazy. I just saw it. Ye at 17 and 9. I feel like we highlighted Crashes as kind of a very, very impactful player in countering Muraz and Heat, obviously, in that series the other day. A little bit quieter this time around. I don't know if we could attribute much of KRU's success down to that factor alone. But certainly needing somebody to put up, I guess, some more resistance. I mean, Envy have looked so fantastic in some of these thrifty rounds, but it's on the buy rounds where they're actually just kind of resorting back to the more structured defense. And Mazino going to be put on red alert here. He's actually spotted out 3 on the jump peak. Okay. Marv tried something a little cheeky. It didn't work.
Nah, it didn't. And the 5 stand, and look at the amount of space they've garnered. Even in the meantime, I love watching KRU, man. These boys have some flair. Now, Ye may try it on 1. It doesn't matter. KRU are on it today. They're feeling themselves. That's a perfect start, too. That's just going to rip that scoreline just a little bit further away from Envy. This is making it difficult now.
Look to KRU to potentially do what Envy did in the first half, convert this 3rd round. See if Klaus will actually throw anything in the mix. Kesnet, though, with that ghost in the previous, he's got a Vandal on the board, so whether or not we see him get a little aggressive here. It's actually going to be 3 members of KRU stacking up towards B main here. Both duelists and Delzik.
They're so happy to do this, and you know it takes balls to play like this against fully rifled outside.
Straight away, Envy have identified it.
Yep.
They've felt this pressure down B main, and they will hightail it towards A. Ye will pick up the slack in mid, but Envy not messing about here.
Yeah, sat at the back of the site. Still have that Viper in play.
Helljohn didn't spot Mazino.
That's pretty big. Now, maybe they still clear it. Maybe they still take a little bit of a look. There it is. There's the second layer. I like that.
Yeah.
Really good plan there towards it. Kesnet is also here as well. Envy is still struggling to make that final. I don't know what to say about these guys. They're all just hitting these mad shots. FNS, the first one to be brave enough to take the step back in. He does find Kesnet. He's spotted out a second. Swarm grenade not going quite where he wanted, maybe for screens, but it should do somewhat of a job. Crashes will get the spike down, and it's on Ye to be this backline. Be the thief in the night. Let's see how much damage you can get. None.
What?
0. Actually denied by Nags. And now it's a 4v3, but look at the weaponry. It's still a little weaker here for KRU, so don't think it's an easy one yet. These rifles may be able to keep them at range.
Guess we'll find another though. Nags quick with the trade. It comes down to 2. Crashies and Victor now. Try and get something done here. Victor finds the first, the second, a little laboured. Klaus will respond, the shock darts. The only thing left to try and stop this coming through. The first will do a little bit of damage, but not enough. One away from the Hunter's Fury, though, so if you can get this, you might be able to deny. Crashies comes up huge with the Red Bull clutch. Insane.
Certainly needed as well. Envy struggling in moments like that, but what a moment from him. And Crashies has been clutch throughout the last couple of games too. This was all looking like KRU were on for it. Bear in mind, they were still on the weaker weapons. They were still on Spectres and odds and ends. That called upon a big clutch from Crashies. And that laboured spray from Nags just opened up that chance. But bear in mind, the shock darts were on. He was doing everything just right.
I want to talk about Delzik and Nags having the initiative to actually sit and wait for Ye in that lurk. But Nags it again. The start of this round opened things up. FNS will fall. That's the spike noted very early on here.
Another fight here. Kesner just keeping territory. He's not particularly overly committed to this, but he's sticking around towards Nest for now. As Envy take their time. That's not bad. He's going to at least spot the spike there as well. That's a big bit of information to relay, and there's no trade yet. Ye did eventually find Kesner, who was fighting up towards Nest. Klaus going to at least spot another, calls it out to Nags, and he's going to find that.
This is third on the round. Crashes again, tries to come in. Delzik in position to greet him. Nagzet will find his 4th here. KRU will flip this right back again. 9-7. I think Envy going to be scrambling to get a purchase together here. But again, don't count them out. If that's what the purchase is going to be from Envy, expect them to still do damage.
But look how low it is. Like, the money's actually really bad.
Ye, one off the Blade Storm. I don't know if they can make a play for an orb in the early round here.
I mean, you've been seeing how postured up KRU are as well towards that side of the side. It's not like they're not... They're taking fights every single time on it. None of these orbs are particularly unchecked.
FNS solo on that belt swing with the spike, and Nags is able to find it and dip out immediately.
This has got to be double digits for KRU, and this is panic stations now for Envy. You're not expecting too much out of this round, which is reasonable. Yay. Blade Storm comes on. Victor's the one to actually get the frag, but there's still life in him yet. Victor actually still finding 2. This is not how it's meant to go.
Oh my
Get out of him, Marved. Okay. If this is the round you've got to win, then screw it. Just buy Sheriff's Marshals and odds and ends. We'll take those. And there it is again, Crashies. The saving grace of Envy. 0 right to be winning that round. They had nothing coming into that.
Again, the fact that they're able to get the ult orb completely unpressured there. I think Mazzino maybe spots more than one head that he's happy with and decides not even to contest that. But again, the Blade Storm's even burnt up here. I think there's a little bit of damage done on the side of Ye, but this one here, Marv's still in position, anticipating Nags coming around from A. Again, even at that point, even if he finds that, he's a million miles away from the execute towards B. KRU will actually pump the brakes here. I'll call a timeout. In the progress elsewhere now, Victor one away from the showstopper. FNS close to that lockdown. Crashies still on that Hunter's Fury.
I hope the desk or someone, a stats wizard out here, can just tell me how many rounds on a full buy Envy have won out of these 8. Because it feels like so many of them...
I feel like they've got 4 thrifties now.
At bare minimum. Bare minimum, genuinely. So it's
first round, it was they converted the bonus as well, right?
Correct. So how many of these have been full buys? Now, I'm sure someone's been paying attention. The analysts aren't that far away. So do let me know, because I am truly... I don't think I've seen a game like this. Kind of, I don't know. It just feels weird.
See if... Again, I've got to say, KRU, in terms of where they're stacking up, they're playing a little slower than Envy were on their defense. Again, yes, we know how often KRU were able to win out in those opening duels, but I don't know if that's they're leading, so they're a little more hesitant or cautious to give away an opening to Envy. To see if there's any real switch up here. Oh, look at that. Nags straight away with the Blade Storm. Oh, yeah, just going to find. Look at that. FNS gets completely swept in Garage.
Well, public viewing to the execution there. FNS is just going to go down now. Waiting to see if Delzik got a hint of that. I don't think he has. He has to respond to other problems. Ye now making progress. Marv is taking great territory towards middle, and Victor's making a problem of himself. Gonna just put his body on the line. He's still gonna do some damage towards Kesnet, and this is a big problem. Now Marv comes online. Great swing from middle. Marv punishing those rotations perfectly. But Mazzino, he's been wild in these, but he can't be done this time. Marv finding it, and that mid play was just perfect. Envy finally finding a real response here.
But it's the timing as well. That showstopper gets popped, and I think already Marv has a pretty good idea that he's in the right place at the right time, and just freezes again. Waits for an audio cue, and actually waits for Nagzet to turn his back completely to resort back to Rafters. Really, really well played there. And actually, it's going to reset crew. Sheriffs across the board. But Bladestorm invested. I mean, they can't ride that out here. Nothing else really for them to fall back on. So, yes, the Hunter's Fury, but do you throw it out as a probe in the early round?
Well, I mean, according to every other round, this should be Crew's, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this is a
Crew win.
They've just quadrupled their odds of winning this round.
For now, though, Crew are making a go of it. There it is again. Kesnet going to find one untraded and uncontested. We did have Ye get that first pick as well, though, so that's still maybe the gateway they need to springboard into this. It's very hard to hold those long lines of sight, and FNS should be the safety net. Should. And is. A little late, but on the second and third. Love that, FNS. Let's go. Clean work. And there. 4 stay alive. And no more weird rounds for now.
The first time I think we're going to see Envy pull a buffer from a buy round here.
I'm nervous constantly with this now. Crew are so mad, though. They just find these crazy little picks, and then it spirals. It's just not like, okay, imagine FNS is not sat there. Then I get worried, because they'll probably still just find some way in.
Correct. I think that's the first time we've seen Crew test the waters. I guess maybe trying to get a feel for what the default looks like for Envy, because right there they're anticipating Envy to sit very deep and potentially, you know, greet them with lesser weaponry, trying to close the distance. This time, no real pressure towards B main. Both duelists for Crew. Nags are actually on the screen here with the operator, and it's going to be Kesnet again to open things up.
Every time he goes for that, he is finding success time and time again. Punishment constantly, and then...
I spotted him. What?
I don't know. I mean, FNS had full faith that it would have if he was there.
Tommy caught sleeping.
Yeah, Tommy's had a rough start to the day, right, mate? He needs his, you know, he'll get a Red Bull in him soon. 3 still stand for Envy, and the problem is these are barely deep into sights. These are just picked so deep on their first attempt towards A. Oh, yay! Come on, dude. Okay, maybe there's still a bit of wiggle room. Crashy's starting his probe towards that B site. On the other side, Mazzino would be waiting, who's been very solid at this, but easy to get overwhelmed here. Let's see how well he handles this. They had left towards that A site. That's a very good point. So they are going to be encroaching towards the site. Mazzino going to pull himself around towards the back side of things. Spots the first and Crashes takes his head. Big trade, though, for Klaus, who started to lean over this way, even after that Ye pick towards middle. Kes, though, starts leaning through. Ultimate comes in. Marv, that positioning. He has been such a thorn in the side now.
Beautiful work here from Envy to flip this back and bring it to a 2v2. Klaus and Nagzet now forced to try and get something done here. See Ye posted up though. Klaus going to have a hard time crossing. Actually, time getting eaten up here. I think this is to allow Nags to get into a position to contest Kitchen. I think that's where he's thinking Marv is playing here.
Remaining.
Yeah, textbook there. Do you know what? This round was beautiful as well, to have players in place to anticipate when that toxin's dropping, and then they pressure Mazzino. They know that he can't play yellow, he has to fall away, he has to play sight. He's forced to rely on his snakebite, right, to prevent the plant coming through. But the problem being, Marv in a perfect position to then counteract that.
Perfect. Again, I think this is one of the nicest rounds we've seen from Envy in my eyes, because as said, Crew got those first picks, and they were so deep, they had very little information. And that's why you're going to have so much brilliance from the likes of Ye coming out as well, finding that entry in middle, opening up space, punishing that way back in. So credit to Envy for that. It's probably one of the most convincing ones we've seen thus far.
Absolutely.
But now we look towards Crew. What sort of damage can you do with this? Because 11 now is starting to creep towards that 12. You're starting to get towards the end of things, the pointy end of the stick. Isn't it? First attempt towards B long. Shows the weaker purchase. And Victor carries on forward.
Kesnet only with a Guardian here, and I get something done. Yay actually will find the opener. Kesnet will be able to heal off the back of that, but Victor will charge him down. Delzik now left to try and do some damage on the way in, but no way he's going to be able to prevent this. And actually a very deep lockdown invested from FNS. That's to cut off basically everything towards Tube. This is really awkward. This is to force them to sight in the open line. I love this.
Yeah, that is actually really nice. It's given them some sort of access, but I don't seem to
don't follow up on it.
Yeah, that's...
Look at Marved.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
That one information call, but they've got no one to punish that mid-rotation. Unless they're going to let Marv just off the leash for a while, pause.
Viper's Pit invested here behind screen.
True.
That could be the end goal for Envy here, Lauren.
That's pretty big if they go for it. Because for KRU, they've got to be going, oh, this feels weird.
I mean, if they give away another kill, again, KRU on lesser weaponry here. The Sheriff, Spectre.
FNS should win this. He doesn't.
What?
Zeno's somehow got himself in with a shot on that one. That's going to be a rifle upgrade too, I'm pretty sure. So there's problems galore now starting to build, and this Marv position, we were theory crafting what he could do with this, but he hasn't opted for the choice. We thought, there it is now. There we go.
Now, KRU have to make their numbers count. Crashes with the Hunter's Fury. He's playing deep all the way towards spawn here. The safety net for Envy in this round. Victor going to be taking first contact in front of 410. Kesnet will fall. Mazzino too.
Nagset and Delzik, the last two. Delzik connects a belter towards Marv, but Victor's still there. Still holding things on for Envy, who make it to 12. KRU made it dangerous, and there were moments there. That fight in middle, I thought could have spiraled differently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if FNS wins that, at that point, yeah, Marv never considers the Viper's Pit. And then again, there's that awkward bit where it's like, should I? They're not on a full purchase. When the res comes through, again, it's whether or not they can recover a weapon on the back of that, or they have anything to fight back into that round. So, Envy will actually come onto map point here. Hunter's Fury, Showstopper available. Two big ultimates, but Nags got that operator online. Nothing else available for KRU, though. And Envy stacked up, potentially to make a fast hit toward B here. Mazzino going to be called upon.
There it is, Victor, first man forward, puts life on the line for it, but Ye has found Nagset. Oh, it's blind, and he still gets it. Ye is slicing them in half as well. Kesnet did get the trade, but by now the damage is done. It's down to 2. Delzik and Kesnet, the last two standing, and they're pushing CT. I love this aggression. Take that space. They have the numbers for favorable trades, but Delzik refusing to relent. A 1v2 presented is not easy, though. Post-plant against that ult in the hands of Crashies too. He's going to have to do something almost unbelievable at this point. He knows he's in trouble. Taps it.
Nanoswarm.
The Nanoswarm time just being drawn away. This is not looking good for Delzik. He knows it. He's trying to get through every piece of utility, and Crashies to close down at 13-9.